practice is what brings the revision into play. So now how much you've revised, whether you learn things or not, that comes from practice of papers. Strategy should be that you don't go to any new source, just stick to whatever you have read in the last 1 year. Exam is not just checking your intellectual capacity or your capacity to analyze things. It's also checking whether you mentally or physically got it to appear and then clear it. Do not leave things just because you think they might not turn up. You have to be prepared for every eventuality.
Hello aspirants and welcome to our conversation series with esteemed faculty members of Vision IAS, in which we are discussing effective strategies for clearing prelims examination of 2024. Today we have our economics faculty Mr. Piyush sir with us. A very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you, Paritosh.
Sir, prelims examination is scheduled on 16th of June 2024. With almost 2 months left for the examination, students face a lot of challenges. Can you share with us what exactly are the challenges which are faced by students in these particular days?
So 2 months before the exam, the major challenge remains what to read and how much to read that particular subject. So the challenge would be that how to manage for time that particular subject and also what to read in that subject. So these two major challenges is what you need to tackle. Now, how do we tackle it? We can have number of strategies, but the thing should be the what exactly expectation from these 2 months, what to read and how much to read particular subjects. So these would be the two broader challenges we faced.
Sir, given your vast experience in helping students in clearing the examination, can you share any strategies how to overcome these challenges?
Yeah, so there are two things here. That one, how much time do you dedicate to a particular subject, and then what exactly do you read in that subject. So the strategy should be that you don't go to any new source, just stick to whatever you have read in the last 1 year, because the maximum memory is going to come from the things you've already read. So if you go to a new approach in terms of what you are going to read, for example, a revision material or something, that would be giving less benefits because it's a new thing which you are reading. So stick to the subject or stick to the source which you've already read. And second would be time management. So there are roughly 8 subjects. Focus more on the subjects which are covered, the static area from those subjects, and then the dynamic portions can be dedicated half of the day to those static portions. So this is how you can manage both, but don't go for new sources. Stick to whatever you've read. Dedicate half time to the static portion, half time to the current affairs related subjects. This is how you can have a balanced approach.
Sir, how effectively students should strategize to overcome these challenges which you talked about?
So the two challenges being, one is the time management and the other thing is what to read. So what you can do about the subjects is don't go for any new source, just stick to the source which you have already read. This is what is going to give you maximum benefits because some pictographic memory will come with that and the understanding also remains better with the same source. Don't go for any new source, just have trust in the sources you have covered. Second, the time management would have to be divided between the static and the current portions. Some subjects have more static portions. Those should be given the first priority because you get direct questions from the source. The dynamic portions can be given half of the day so that you also have some range of information to solve those questions. But the core strength should be the static portions, which is the 30-40 questions coming from 4 to 5 subjects. So that plus the source should be the same. Do not go for new sources no matter what the pressure comes. Trust yourself in this.
So there is a famous saying that practice makes a man perfect. Practicing a lot of questions are advised to students just before prelims examination. Students also appear for multiple mock tests. So there is a buzz around the word Abhyaas Prelims. What exactly is Abhyaas Prelims Examination of 2024?
So one thing about the exam is that it requires a lot of revision. So we don't know how much what different subjects have. So we have to revise them multiple times to know whether we are confident on that or not. Now practice is what brings the revision into play. So now how much you've revised, whether you learn things or not, that comes from practice of papers. Abhyaas stands out from the rest of the mock test because it gives you a real and test environment so that you can sit in the class, observe the environment and then see how the dynamics work. So a lot of times you have things in mind, we are sitting at a comfortable space in our home and we are able to perform better. But we when go to the test center, the things completely change. For example, like if you see someone playing a cricket match, they go to the new country, they first play a practice match with the country just to get accustomed to the surroundings. So we need to get accustomed to the surroundings. So subconsciously, the pressure will ease out. So you would know what dynamics will play when you go to a classroom. You stimulate the whole test environment and that is an exercise that removes like 90% of the stress, that the exam is not that special. We can do it. We just got the taste of it.
So any strategy so that students should align Abhyaas along with the current preparation which they are doing for prelims examination?
So you can stick to your strategy because the Abhyaas is modeled on UPSC exam itself. So whatever revision strategy you have, you just stick to it. Focus half of the day on the static portion, half on dynamic. It's just a practice that we're going to go and give. Don't take it too seriously that the marks are good or less. It's just a practice mock session. So a batsman scores 0 or 100, he just needs to get accustomed to his surroundings. That is what the strategy should be with respect to what you expect from the test. Do not expect anything different to happen. It's just a stimulation, maximum stimulations, maximum benefit. So before the exam, you'll be well accustomed to how it works.
Very comprehensively covered, sir. Sir, as far as economics is concerned, how ideally students should strategize their economics preparation in the coming 2 months?
So just like I told you about the static and dynamic portions, the subject also goes on the same length. The static portion is your macroeconomics. So you read the concepts. Once you understand the concepts, you should be able to solve half of those 16 questions that are roughly 6 to 8. The rest half is Indian economy. Now, Indian economy should be certain dynamically prepared because you need information to solve those questions. The more you cover the base in the terms of information, the better you are equipped to answer. So there you need to read a little bit wider. Don't go to new sources, but do it from the test. So Abhyaas would have said 18 to 20 questions. You are getting a lot of information from the test also. So the 6 to 8 macroeconomics, revise from your basic source. Dynamic, try to go more. Read the newspaper so that you have number of information to solve those questions. Take the test also as a source of information because at the end of the day, we need to qualify prelims. Anything that helps us in doing that, this is what we need to follow.
Sir, any important themes from economics for this year prelims examination you'd like to share with our students?
So what we have seen in the pattern before, in macroeconomics, mostly they cover money banking and external sector. So you focus on external sector, the concepts of how the exchange rate works, if investment happens, goes out, what happens to the economy. Secondly, in money banking, you can know the basics of money, money supply, money demand, interest rates, how these things work. Then comes the application part of this. That is your Indian economy. So any institutions in the Indian economy, 5 years back, they used to cover banking a lot. Now they've shifted their focus to capital markets. So the application of those concepts comes in the capital markets. The more information you have, better you are equipped to solve those questions. So Indian economy, the institutional sectors wise, whether it is industry, agriculture, that remains important. For macroeconomics, money banking, external sector remain important. But other things you cannot leave. That's the nature of the exam. You can't expect the pattern to hold. You can expect bounces also. So be prepared for that also. I would say comprehensively go with every concept. Do not leave things just because you think they might not turn up. You have to be prepared for every eventuality.
So apart from these academic issues which we discussed, students at psychological level also goes through a lot of stress and anxiety in this particular phase of examination. How exactly students should tackle their mental health in this coming 2 months?
So tackling stress is in fact the most important thing about this exam. So exam is not just checking your intellectual capacity or your capacity to analyze things. It's also checking whether you mentally or physically got it to appear and then clear it. The whole nature is 1 year. So stress management is also preparation. So if you are 6 hours of studies, 2 hours should also come in stress management. So you can pursue whatever you like doing, whatever hobby you have. If you don't have it, just sleep. But 2 hours count in preparation because that is what gives you maximum efficiency. You can't just run out with the strength you have. Willpower will exhaust. You have to have 2 hours specifically dedicated to that. Any exercise you like, reading, whether it is playing, swimming, go for a walk. Do anything, but just 2 hours you need to have particularly for stress management. Don't have anything, just sleep. Sleep without a guilt.
Sir, any last moment tips for our students?
Just believe in yourself. At the end of the day, you've worked hard. Things will turn up. You don't have to take pressure in the terms ke kya hoga, kya nahi hoga. Just think whatever I've done is going to come to me on that particular day. You don't practice everything before the test. You just believe it will come. Trust me, it does.
Thank you, sir, for guiding our students very comprehensively.
Thank you, Paritosh.
Now, students, it's your chance to inculcate the strategies shared by sir in your upcoming prelims examination strategy. Go, register and write Abhyaas Prelims Examination of 2024. Lastly, all the very best to all the aspirants who will be attempting this year prelims examination. Thank you.